Welcome to another episode in Me, Myself, Help, and I, where we explore transformative ideas and inspire personal and professional growth. My name is Nikhil. I am your host today. So, today I'm very excited to speak to someone who I knew from my past and my present and my future. So, this person has been special to me recently, and I think we've started to connect a lot. And this person is a globally acclaimed spiritual guide, humanitarian, whose work transcends barriers, religion, culture, and geography. Such a wonderful person. So, Dr. Mohanji, welcome to our show. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm doing well. Thank you.
So, when I say the word humanitarian, what comes to your mind?
Well, somebody who is there for the nature and the people and the time. Somebody who's available. I prefer to put it that way. Somebody who's available. And most of us have our life bordered around our own personal inclinations, tendencies, etc. We hardly look at the world, what the world needs, what the world deserves, or what the world is today, or the frequency of the world today. So I prefer to be in that particular frequency of the world where I'm useful. Most people are pretty cloistered. I'm not blaming anybody, or I'm not trying to say that people are not doing their work well, or it's about an attitude where you are available and you are receptive, you are flexible, and you are able to do something as per your capacity to the world. So, for me, being a humanitarian means somebody who's living a human life totally, 100%. That's for me, being a humanitarian. Not only focusing on what I love to do, or what I want, or what I desire or deserve, or whatever, that level.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. And as a proponent of selflessness, compassion, and higher consciousness, uh, you are very well versed with leadership and spiritual foundations. So, how do you marry those two things up? Leadership and spirituality. How do you define leadership and spirituality?
We are all our leaders by nature, by birth. In some level, we have leadership in us, but we don't nurture them very well because conditioning. Often we are just guided to be a second fiddle through education, through various social situations. People just become a backdrop, not because they are not leaders. And at certain times, in crisis situations, you can see leadership coming forth. But spontaneously, we are all leaders. Everybody have that capacity. So for me, leadership is taking on responsibility at the right time for the right reasons. Not that you're a leader all the time and showing off or trying to lead people who do not want to be led. For me, leadership is a spontaneous thing, and it comes naturally when the purpose is clear and when you know where you're going. This is what it is. And spirituality for me is simply self-connection, connection with myself. It has a few ingredients. One is self-respect, which I think people do not really understand self-respect, because self-respect for me is not being available where you are unwanted, not being at a place where you are not wanted. Walk away. Take care of yourself. Self-respect is respecting your time, respecting your presence at the right places. If you're respected or if you're accepted, be there. If you're not respected or accepted, don't be there. This is self-respect for me. And self-love is an understanding where, hey, I am born, I'm here today. And please remember always, we don't have a lot of time on earth. Like if you live 80 years, it's only 29,200 days. It just vanishes like that. And we are evolving. We started with extreme helplessness as a small baby. to an helpless situation at the old age. So helplessness to helplessness is the transition. In between, a time when you can gather yourself, manage yourself, that time should be used effectively. Otherwise, that's lost. So the self-connection, self-love is a very big ingredient in this matter. It doesn't matter what others think about you. They can think anything. But also remember that others do not know you. Others may not even understand you, recognize you, know you. They have their frame, and through that frame, they're seeing you. And then they only see what they see, what they are, or they only see how they are, not as you are. So this is very important to understand. So self-love should not be contaminated by anybody's opinion, nobody's idea, opinion. We should be looking at ourselves as a complete being with all the flaws and all the strengths. We all have weaknesses, we have strengths, we have good, bad, ugly, everything. That's how all the people are. So we should not judge ourselves, criticize ourselves, compare ourselves with another. We are fine the way we are. As long as you have contentment, satisfaction, fulfillment in life, you're good. And it doesn't mean whether you have a lot of money or a lot of popularity or a lot of people recognize you. That's all not important. What is important is that you're fulfilled with every moment, every situation, for which self-love is very important. Self-acceptance is equally important. Self-respect is important. And this connection is spirituality, where you are connecting to the real you, what you are, and being comfortable in your own skin. This is first point. Second level of spirituality is a remembrance of the energy aspect inside. Who runs your show? The body, mind, intellect, ego, all these things are activated by something. Who's that thing or what is that thing? That energy, you can call it soul, you can call it Shakti, you can call it Ru, what you want to call it, doesn't matter. But there's an energy which is activating the whole system. That awareness, hey, I am actually that energy, because beyond or without that energy, there is no existence. We have no existence. We don't have a life. This awareness is spirituality. And I don't think this is conflicting. It goes along with it. Every point in time you remember, hey, I'm not this emotion. I'm not this ego. I am that activates all these things. So then you will not be affected or suffocated or bound by the projection that you have. Projection is as per the situation, but you are not bound by it because you project. Sometimes you project anger, sometimes you project love. That's as per the situation, as per the emotion. But you are not any of those. Then you are free. Then you can live free, freedom, live freedom. This is exactly the connection, self-connection. So spirituality is not going to church, mosque, or temple and praying and shouting, screaming. That's all personal thing. If you want to do that, nobody can object it. But that's not the real spirituality. Real spirituality is self-connection through self-acceptance. So that's my brand of spirituality, which everybody has. They're all spiritual. If you just think, you will know that, oh, I am the energy that runs the show.
That's really profound. So like understanding self-respect, self-love, self-acceptance, comfort in your own skin, and energy is kind of the idea of spirituality, and not to be confused with religion. Like a lot of people get confused with this idea of spirituality, and especially when I talk about in a leadership context, in a workplace environment, people are very reluctant to engage. So you have worked with a lot of leaders in the corporate. You were actually in the corporate world for a long time.
Yeah.
How do you see we can provide the support we need to the leaders of the world in different areas through spiritual practices?
A person who do not have a vision cannot be a good leader. First and foremost is vision, especially in corporates. You need to know where you're going, especially you will have targets, you have plans, your agendas, targets. So you need to know exactly what is the scope of the activity. This needs meditation. Meditation is not meditating on nothingness, meditating on the subject matter. What am I supposed to do? Do I have clarity? If I have clarity, have I understood the roadmap? This is important for a leader. This needs personal time. It's like an actor getting into a role. An actor is not the role. Actor is playing the role. Likewise, a person is not the profession. Person is playing the profession. So you need to know exactly what you're supposed to do, the scope of work. This is very, very important. Once you get the scope of work clear in your head, you need to know, do I know the way roadmap? Second aspect. Now, there are distractions usually in every corporates, such as politics, inter-department politics, interpersonal politics, all these things. None of them you should take personally because they are not attacking you as a person. They are attacking you as a professional. This you have to segregate from the person. If you are one with the profession, and then everything will come to you and hit your face. So, profession is separate from the person, just like the actor is separate from the role. So, vision and not affected by disturbances, distractions. This is second. And then the roadmap, third. And then increase the clarity. If I have to reach here, like if you have to, there is a saying, if you focus on the moon, at least you will reach the treetop.
Yeah.
So that level where you focus on something larger, bigger, etc., so that you can attain your particular mission effortlessly. Another aspect, collaboration. Many people hesitate to collaborate. I have collaborated with my competitors and developed a strategy where we could stabilize rates. Many people refuse to do that. Hey, you're spilling your secrets with others. Look here, if you are good enough, they will come to you. Business will come to you. Never be afraid. I always believe that a good leader can never be afraid. If not A, then there will be B. And if you're good, you are unignorable. Even now in this thing, I'm not in competition with anybody. I don't compare myself with anybody in my field now. People are coming to me. We are in 6 continents now, started from zero. So I'm talking from my own experience, my conviction, that if you know your work well, and if you're honest about it, and don't be afraid to show your actual face to the world. With all the weaknesses, all the strengths, all the good, bad, ugly, be yourself. The moment you become yourself, people start trusting you because there's no two faces. World is full of two faces. See, masks people wear because there are something which you can't show to the world. This is okay. Personal secrets are okay. That's fine. Everything you don't need to show to the world. You will have your secrets. That's fine. That much is fine. But don't be afraid to express honesty, to express your originality, your strength, your authenticity. Don't be afraid. And I have, in my corporate career, I have charged more to people, telling them I'm charging more and got the business. Because I understood the customer. I give you one example. This is probably good as a practical step. Not that everybody can do it. I'm just telling you one example. There are certain organizations where they have storage capacity very limited. So if the materials come for storage and if the materials do not go out to the market on time, they have a congestion issue, which is a very expensive affair. This is a wasted money for them. But if the flow is very smooth, they are optimized. They can optimize very well. So this is a nightmare of a manager, optimization. So I take over that thing as a supplier or as a subcontractor. I said, I'll handle this for you. And they said, how do you do it? I said, I'll regulate it. So I can regulate the supply in association with the outflow. So the storage is never overloaded and storage is comfortable. Then I tell them, but I'll charge you extra. So they are happy to pay me because
even if they do not optimize, their expenses are much more than if they pay me a little bit. They are saved, and these people can sleep peacefully. So when you understand the customer, don't just look at the customer only as a milking cow, somebody who pays. You should look at the customer as a partner. His
Mm,
worry also should, you have probably something to do with his worries. Probably, not all the time. So, and sometimes they may not tell you their issue. Then leave it. Then it's not your problem. But if somebody says, "Hey, look here, I'm having sleepless nights continuously," you can think what you can do for it, how you can help it. And if you help it, they will appreciate you. They will never leave you. Customer loyalty are ensured, because the moment they sign the contract with you, they're happy, because their optimization is done, not just supply but optimization also, which is their job actually. But they can't do anything if the whole load comes together. So I have done such things. Now, collaboration is also very important. I'm talking from my practical example. Usually there are credits in the Middle East, like you pay after 60 days, 90 days, you give a check which is post dated. I told my suppliers I don't need it, but I want a better rate. I said, I don't need your credit, but give me a better rate. I pay you once the job is completed and I'm satisfied, I pay you. And that I diminished my whole, I mean, not just diminished the workload. Because payment is all spontaneous. There is no particular thought required for the further payment. And as the money comes in, and I also tell people, I will not give you credit. You should pay me. So I get my money, I pay these guys off, and I have my money. And I used to pay every 6 months, 1 month salary extra. Because we had a system where if you make so much money extra, you can pay your staff or you can take a bonus as a country head. I was the head of the country. So I paid everybody 6 months, every 1 month salary every 6 months. So in 12 months, 14 months salary, every staff. So how did this happen? Just because of optimization, not because of additional business. So you can do these things, like if you can make the flow very smooth, you can sleep peacefully, everybody is happy, and they will collaborate with you much better. And even they will tell you if there is a business which they can't handle. They say, hey, look here, this business is that we can't handle. Can you handle it? Business comes from them, the contractors, the subcontractors, the associates, partners. So sometimes the same I used to do with competitors. I tell the competitor, this business I cannot handle, can we do it together? They're happy. Then they also start sharing with you. In the whole market, you can create a harmony, which automatically makes you more successful individually. So there are so many ways to do this. So one is that perfect the vision. You should know exactly what you have to do. Without that, nothing will work. And mostly people get into a chair and they, okay, what I have to do now, where I have to sign, that kind of thing. That's not really professional. Even though people have various degrees, sometimes they get stuck, bogged down in a situation. And many people I have seen, they can't handle the inter-office competition. I would say ignore it and focus on your work and do your best. Automatically, others will either they'll stop barking or they will accept you. Something will happen.
yeah. No, I mean, that's very valuable. I think the vision makes sense. The roadmap and meditation also in the sense of reflection is really important. And I think what resonated with me was depersonalization of the profession. So you are not the profession. And I think people get caught up in this thought process that I am a director, I am the manager. So they get caught up there and they lose the idea, they lose the clarity, as you said. And the words which you said, sometimes I've been in offices and things are not words which are used in the office, like harmony, partnership, collaboration. These I feel like leadership teams across the globe are not using them. They're not using them. They are uh, the pie gets bigger, in my opinion. I think if they all work together, the pie gets bigger. So you don't have to take a slice, is my point. So like the slice
Yeah.
becomes bigger if we all work together. So yeah, thank you for those ideas. I think these are useful for anyone who's in a leadership role to start to take immediate action. So
There is this story of the eagle carrying a fish, and so many other birds were attacking the eagle. And the eagle was not knowing why they are attacking, but it was carrying a fish to its children. And suddenly it realized, oh, they are attacking the eagle, the mother, for the sake of the thing in its beak, the fish.
Mm.
So it dropped the fish, all the birds went away. So many times we carry the cloak of our profession, and that get attacked. We think that they are attacking us as individuals. It's not that. The envy of the position, maybe you're successful. I've always faced that thing. When you do something and you become successful, a lot of people become envious. And who will become envious? Those who either do not have the capacity or they are in the wrong position, wrong situation. So let them, I mean, what can you do about it? You're not a game changer all the time, but you can change your own game and attain success. So always remember, the cloak you wear is getting attacked, not you are getting attacked. You are not the cloak you wear. So if this is understood clearly, I think 80% of the stress will go. Because the inter-office stress I'm talking about, inter-office stress, inter-office politics, all those things will go if you know that you are not being attacked, but your cloak, the dress you're wearing is getting attacked. Remove the dress and you're fine. But when you carry the same thing, the dress home, and start and wear the dress again at home and suffer, it affects the family life. You become ridiculous, actually. Nowhere you are happy, because this is the burden you are carrying on your head. I think you should not. You shouldn't do that.
Got it. No, thank you for your reflection. That's really helpful, Mohanji. One question often, especially when we talk about leadership business, is this question of how do you balance material success, i.e., money, versus spiritual integrity? So, if somebody is practicing spiritually and is a spiritually conscious leader, uh, how do they balance the material success or material wealth, or what is your perspective on that?
Well, situations do change in life. Sometimes you may become rich. Sometimes you may become not so rich, or sometimes you are compromised. Sometimes you are very successful. All these things are happening to you. You are the same. From birth till death, you are the same. Different situations are coming to you. Just be aware of that and be natural. I always say, when you have money, don't feel guilty. Oh, I have money now. When you don't have money, don't cry. I don't have all this money now. You are you, and be natural. Be the flow and enjoy life. Experience life as you like, and don't be apologetic for that. What you want to do in life, if you do not do it, if you postpone it, you're asking for another life. Instead, time is given, space is given, and we don't have a lot of time. We have about 30, let's say 30,000 days on earth with a body, in a body. That's all we have. So why are we even afraid of anything? Do your thing, be yourself, and enjoy everything that comes your way. And after a while, when you're sick or old, or God forbid, maybe you don't become sick, but at least we know we will get old. We may not be able to enjoy all those things now, all those things that we enjoy now. So we should be flowing, be natural, be flexible, and be childlike, wonder, fueled by wonder. So I think that richness is grace. Richness is inner richness, true richness, where you are able to share what you have with the world. This is the grace. This is the grace we can, or the blessing that we have received. If we keep everything for ourselves, we don't enjoy anything, because only when we share, we enjoy. When we see, enjoyment is not only our sensory enjoyment, it is this enjoyment that we see around us, or the happiness that we see around us. Personal happiness only have certain, I mean, it's only so much, or have limitation. But when we share and a lot of people are happy, then your happiness becomes becomes really beyond boundaries, infinite. So this is more important. I always think, what is how why the world or how the world is benefited with my existence. This is my thought always. So if the world is not benefited because of my existence, we are just another brick on the wall. Nobody sees us, faceless in the world. But if the world starts being happy because you are alive and you become the world to at least somebody, then you are doing your job or you are worth it for the world. Otherwise, it's another person. We are close to 9 billion people now in the world, and most of these people have no faces. We don't see them. Nobody sees them, and people know them when they are born because a baby is born, and some people know them when they die, or sometimes there are nobody caring when at the time of death even. So we always should remember all your possessions, all the position that you have, and your relations will leave at the time of your death. That remembrance is very important, as it is important to remember that we don't have a lot of time on earth, maximum 30,000. Now if you live 100 years, 36,500, that's it.
Mhm.
Only that much days, 100 years. But even 100 years is very difficult. Even if you live 100 years, that is. But we should always remember that we don't have a lot of time. And these things that we think we have, possession, relation, they are temporary. They leave at the time of death. So then there is no problem. There is no hiccup. We'll handle everything with love, with affection, gratitude. And money comes, money goes, lack of position, but you are completely free, and then your enjoyment is maximum. Even something leaves you or goes away from you, you will not feel so bad, because that's the nature of existence. Things don't stay forever. Everything comes, everything goes. So you will watch the show more than you become the role, where all the emotions go through the role, but you are the actor. You just play the emotions, but you are not the emotions. So that's a good way to live.
I appreciate that. That's really puts things into perspective. The impermanence of existence, and like the realities of existence. In the 15,000 days I have been here, when I look back and reflect, I should feel gratitude. I should think about like the like how easy, how, like how un what is the word for it? How is it so? I was about to say, how is it
Uncomplicated.
improbable? No, improbable that I was born. Like so many things had to work in my
Yeah,
favor.
yeah,
My parents had to meet at the same time. They like all of
yeah.
that. So
There's so
when I
many.
look back, I'm like so many things. So
No,
my question
that
to
is
you,
what. Yeah, that's what. See, this is a story. Socrates had already drunk the poison, and his body. He was about to die. So while he was almost slipping into death, one person asked him, who was with him, asked him, "Sir, do you have any regrets?" So suddenly he opened his eyes, and he had tears flowing from the eyes. He said, "I have regrets. I was a liberated man. I lived my life liberated, unattached from the world to the world outside. But for keeping me unattached and liberated, so many people contributed. The people who provided the food and all the things which I used to stay liberated, to stay alive. I don't know who did all this. I don't know who sowed and who reaped, and who made the bread and who brought the bread and who kept it on the table. I don't know anything. I just consumed, and I stayed liberated. But there's so many people worked behind it to keep me liberated. I didn't do anything for them. I feel sad. I could not thank them. So I'm indebted to them. That's the only regret I have. You know. And then he died.
life of service is serving others as much as you serve yourself, or being grateful for things which are not, or you need help with things which are not in control. So you said something very important in the last question is enjoy your life. So how do you enjoy your life?
I don't deny things to myself. If I feel like something, I do it. I don't chase things usually. I don't go after things. I don't chase things. But if I feel like doing anything which is harmless to other people, this is very important. My pleasures should not harm another person or another being, which is very important for me. I practice non-violence in thoughts, words, action. So I tell the people also, because these three things, thoughts, words, action, are powerful because energy is released. Energy is released with every thought, energy is released with every expression, and energy is released with every action. So if you are violent in these three, you may end up having regrets, because violence always brings back regrets, reciprocal regret. So this is very important to remember. Every projection has a reciprocation. Like we are projecting something to the world, it gets reciprocated in some way from somewhere. So when you project violence, that gets reciprocated in some way at some point in time. We must always remember this. So every projection has a reciprocation, and our projection, if it is kindness, reciprocation is also kindness. If the world, 9 billion people, projects kindness, compassion, selflessness, the whole reciprocation also is that world will become a better place. All the wounds will be healed over time. Today, that's not the case. So I insist to my people that no violence in thoughts, no violence in expressions, no violence in actions. So all my pleasures, all that I like to enjoy, I want that to be non-violent. That's one thing. And that's why I chose to become a vegan, because the animal farms are seeds of violence. Simple. Where should a child be? Small child. See, when we were a small child, like 2-year-old, 3-year-old, who we were connected to most? To our mother. And before we were born, who were we connected to most? Mother. 9 months we were connected to the mother before we got connected to the society, before we saw the world. So our connection with our mother is sacred, precious, very important. So imagine taking a baby calf away from its mother cow just because we want her milk.
Yeah.
As an adult, think an adult wants the milk of a mother who has a child. Just imagine that situation. That's why I became a vegan. We cannot, should not, as civilized population, civilized generation, opt for violence of any kind. Let the calf be with the mother. Like in our Australian ashram, in the center in Australia, the mother and the child are together all the time. And I saw when the mother came with the child, the mother was so ferociously trying to protect her child, always worried whether we will take her away, because she was seeing that in the farm. But we kept them together, and they're both happy, and they're very, very, very peaceful. And so every mother, every species, you take every species, every mother craves for its children, the proximity of their children. Likewise, every child cries for their mother. We have no right to separate them, but we do. 8 million calves are separated from their mothers every year in record. In America alone, 7 million in Australia, like that. What a frequency is going into the air now, collective frequency, that of despair, injustice, pain, suffering, and then we are drinking that milk. So I'm not elaborating it now. I think you got the idea. But that's why all my inclinations or tendencies are non-violent, and I don't even think of anything which has violence behind it, because I can't handle that myself, because it doesn't suit me. And even if you eat the flesh of some being who wanted to live, and but we murdered it for the sake of the body, I can't sleep. If I don't consume it, accidentally, if something comes in my body, I immediately I feel it. Now,
Mhm.
nowadays it doesn't happen because everything is screened and everything comes to me only after perfect screening. But just in case, I'm saying. So this is the whole thing. So I don't deny anything to myself. I think that you should not deny any desire. Why should you? But always be aware when you are expressing something. Be conscious about the expression. When you are consuming something, be conscious about your consumption so that you have full satisfaction. Most times why we need more and more is because we are unconscious while we are consuming. We're having some drink and we are watching the TV. So there is a disconnection already with these two activities. We are neither here nor there. So we don't have satisfaction anywhere. So our restlessness attitude, the restless attitude, restlessness increased, the restlessness has increased over time. The restlessness, state of restlessness has given us lesser and lesser satisfaction. So this is important. Whatever small thing you do, be there fully, mindful on the matter, on the activity, and then you get maximum satisfaction, and then you're happy, you're
Mhm.
contented. Life is about contentment, satisfaction, and there's no boundary to it. Anything consensual is okay. Like, for example, a mother, a cow, and a child. The child has drunk enough milk, and there is excess milk. That milk can be consumed if required. I don't even agree with that because there's no boundary set for that. It's very difficult. Sometimes the child is denied milk for the sake of the consumption. So I'm not recommending that. But I'm saying consensual means this is in excess. Like, for example, consensual. A mango tree produces mangoes. If you pluck a mango from the tree is not affected. It's like cutting a nail. Anyway, it is producing it for the sake of the world. That is why it's producing. A tomato or a fruit, a vegetable, that's okay. That's all fine because the mother plant is not affected. You're not killing the plant. I don't believe in killing anything, destroying anything, because that small allowance you give for the destruction can destroy your stability. Our conscience gets hurt very badly when we harm other beings. We may not even feel it so much, but it kills our conscience, because we are, as factory products, as original beings, we are not unkind, we are kind. A child is kind always towards the other species or any beings. You can see any child, they are not violent. But as adults, we train them to be violent. We tell them it's okay. Our books have said it's okay to kill, etc. That has to change. For civilization to grow, violence should stop. If there are abattoirs, there'll be wars. If people are trained to spill blood and make it legalized, wars are for sure. Displacements are for sure. What
Mhm.
happens in laboratories, tortured and killed so many animals, that brings sickness to the whole generation, because no karma goes wasted. If there is an expression, there must be a reciprocation for
Mhm.
sure.
Got it. Got it. That's really, really important, these things, because a lot of the discussions we've had is around the coinage you did about conscious leadership. So I think you touched upon a lot of aspects of it. The joy and enjoying it with contentment, not being afraid of your own joys is very, very important. And this ethical aspect of leadership and sustainability, very important conversations, these things. So how would you recommend someone who is starting to become aware of these things and want to do something, but their environment or the place they are in right now doesn't allow, because they are either working for that company which they don't agree with, or they are in a conflict, internal conflict. So they need the job, but they also believe that this is not good. How would you recommend somebody in that situation? Which I get a lot. It's like people talk to me, they're like, yeah, I believe in this. I do understand, but this is my job. I have to do this. What is the recommendation there?
Uh, Grossly put, helplessness is our choice. We can choose to be helpless. Also, freedom is our choice. We can be free to choose in every situation you take. We have these things possible. Now, imagine you're suffocated for too long. Then there is another, somewhere there is a door opened for you to breathe. So always put your intentions clear. Let the intentions be pure. Let there be clarity, and also remain flexible. And you should not compromise on your basic ethics, whatever happens. See, I never compromised on my basic ethics ever, but people respected me for that. I used to have alcohol many years ago. I had no problem to consume alcohol. Then I stopped it after, not because of some reason. I thought I didn't want anything to make me unconscious. That was the only thing. Because my consciousness was growing and I was meditating, I was going through various transformations, and I didn't want this thing to bog me down or pull me back. So I chose it. Nobody told me. And I have no regret now. Even if the best of alcohols comes to me, I don't drink it. So anyway, so we have, for some time, we may feel, what will other people think? After a while, we will not think that, because people will start accepting us as we are. And people have to see, this is our authenticity. What does the world need? Authentic people, not imitations. Imitations have no value. If you are just being another brick on the wall, you will always be like that. Imitations have very little value. Sometimes people get fascinated about it for some time. Immediately, or as the page turns, the fascination goes away. But authenticity never is always fresh when you're authentic. And also remember, we are born original. We have originality. Why are we compromising for other people's sake or because of circumstances? We shouldn't. So I believe that there is no way we can call ourselves a victim of circumstances. Maybe you have to lie down low for sometimes, like the tiger crouches for what? For pouncing, not for sleeping. So like that, you can lay down, you can lay low for some time, just to get the right opportunity to move forward. So keep your clarity high, and your focus straight, and be there with you, and you know where you're going. If you know where you're going, you will reach there. I feel so.
Yeah. Thank you. That's really fascinating, and I understand what you're trying to say is you don't have to be the victim. You can take action right now. So even if you're stuck in a place where you feel like you're helpless, that is a kind of a subconscious choice
Temporary.
you made,
Yeah.
temporary. Yeah. So I think that will be very useful
It's a
for everyone.
subconscious choice for sure. It's also our attitude brought us this. Our attitude. I'm not saying being arrogant, etc. But if you have the attitude of submissiveness, that's what we get.
Mm.
Sometimes we have that because many people have that attitude because they don't have clarity. What are we trained for? To be born, to get educated, get a job, get married, have children, a house, a car, then children's children, their education, children's education, this cycle is what we are trained for. We don't have to do that. We don't have to be that. Why we should think that the run of the mill thing is the only criteria of success? It's not. Your contentment is your success. Your satisfaction is your success. And that's 100% individualistic. Nobody can say that this pattern is what brings you success. One house, two houses, three cars, that success, it's all only, we are only temporary custodians of it. Because as I said, if we live 30,000 days, in 30,000 days, all these things goes away. That's not success. What is success is in these 30,000 days, how you lived, what you are in this life, how much you contributed to the world. That's it. That's all you have. So success is that is to be understood differently, and as a basis of contentment. Otherwise there's no success. We are just becoming like a donkey, going through the situations, and everybody say, hey, good donkey, and then we are happy. And then when we die, so that fellow died, okay, another one. You see.
So yeah, bring your own self to this party is what I'm. So like another question I get all the time is, Nikhil, I understand what you're trying to say, leadership and spirituality, but I don't have the time. I am busy with work. In work I am busy all the time. So I don't have the time to take 5 minutes for self-reflection. I have deals to close, etc., etc. So the time element is a big thing in corporate world and in leadership. So how much time does someone need to spend to start to make progress?
No time. Time is not important. It's an attitude of awareness. Just be aware, okay, I'm doing this now. Just be aware, I'm happy now, or I'm thinking like this, hey, I'm getting anxious. Be aware. If you this doesn't need time. It's an attitude of awareness. If you are aware of everything you do, you're automatically meditating while you're doing it. Meditation is not sitting in one corner and thinking or not thinking. And this empty space, which sometimes people connect to, that doesn't exist without the filled up space. So it's not usually easy for you to just slip into the empty space like deep sleep in the night. Deep sleep is a state which is a compulsory state where you fall into the deep sleep, where you don't know you are a man or a woman, you don't know your position, possession, relation. That state is an automatic everyday state. Now, to be consciously in that state of nothingness, it's not that easy. You need a lot of penance for it. So, what you can do as a business person, you can be aware. You can be aware. Oh, I'm traveling now. I'm feeling now. I'm feeling this feeling. I'm doing this. I'm looking at this. I'm seeing. See, even if you look, you may not see. If the mind is not present, you will not see. Oh, I'm hearing this music. I'm listening to it. Even if your ears are hearing, you may not listen, because if mind is not there, you don't listen. So, oh, I'm having this fragrance. I'm feeling this smell. That means even though there is a smell, you may not even know it if it is regular. So all these things, just being aware, will take you to very, very high levels of awareness. Even you become aware of what's going to happen in the future. So if it is just a simple attitude of awareness that completely transforms you, just being aware, I don't have time. Just be aware that you have this attitude of telling, I don't have time. So what are you telling yourself? That you are controlled by time. Means you are a slave of the time. So be aware. Be aware. When you say I don't have something, you are creating that environment for you to. It's a comfort zone you're creating. You're creating that environment where you can be an escapist. You can escape from so many things. Like so many people meditate at home because they don't want to speak to their wives. Not because they really want to attain higher levels of awareness. So many times escapism comes in many ways. One of them is saying, I don't have time. I always say you don't need time, especially for youth, for students. They probably don't have even the awareness or the mind stability of mind to meditate or to practice something. It's okay. It's no problem. Just be aware. That situation, be aware. Then, oh, I met this person. I didn't feel good. Be aware. I met that person. I was feeling nice, very good. Some people come and tell me, Mohanji, we don't want to leave you. We just want to be around you. That's their perception. So when you become fully settled in yourself, other people will want to be with you. Because that's very comfortable, very, very, very like a womb-like situation, very nice. So it's not difficult. It's our attitude.
Yeah, it's really important. The attitude. Thank you for the inspiration there. I think Yeah, people always get caught up in this monologue with themselves. It's like, I don't have time, I don't have time. And it's just the awareness. You're creating the awareness for yourself. So in
Nikhil,
your yeah,
Nikhil, the saying is with this stereotyped recorded thing. I don't have money. You
yes, I
know,
was about to
Uh,
ask
uh,
this.
yeah.
That was the
You
next
know what is
question.
happening? Huh? You know what is
That was
happening
my
when you
next question. Sorry.
sorry.
No, that was my next question. Is about the money.
Okay. No, but you know what is happening when people keep telling I don't have money? They are blocking it. They're blocking the energy. See, money is energy, and money is alive when it is moving, right? Hoarded money is almost like paper, just like paper. But when money is moving, it is energy. So when people keep saying they don't have money, what's happening? The energy is blocked. So I'm not saying that to lie that you have money, but what I'm saying is that be grateful. I'm
Hmm.
living today. My heart is beating today. I'm active today. I'm healthy today. So all these gratitude aspects of gratitude or attitude of gratitude will help you become rich. Another way, the simplest way to become really really rich is to make that mindset where you feel rich inside. When do you feel rich? When you share what you have with others who do not have. Most people are not rich in the world. They most are middle class, middle income group. They are just mostly hand to mouth. So what you should do, you may have skill to share. Share the skill with those people who don't have it. You may have time to share. If you don't have time, at least you share love, you share kindness, share compassion. You share what you have in abundance with those who do not have it. Automatically, you start feeling rich, and you will have no dearth of things. This insecurity is not necessary. I think it's a part of training, that people are trained to be insecure so that they can be manipulated. I believe so, because why should we be feeling uh, poor? Poverty consciousness, is there a necessity for it? So many people have experienced it, but experience should be kept in the past. Always an incident should be kept in its time, not in another time. So you do have a memory, maybe good memory, maybe bad, but that's connected to that time. Why do we carry it to this time? And then we suffer because of unnecessary baggage on the head. You see, so this is a cycle which we can self-correct. We can correct it. I don't have time, I don't have people, I don't have money. All these I don't is like a trained to talk like that. I always untrain people to think and talk like that, because that's the only, I mean, that's not necessary. You're actually blocking your own completion, satisfaction. See, money is a material which comes when you have the right attitude to you. It's not what you do in life. And also, anytime when you cheat or steal, you will always have a conscience dent in the conscience, which you will not enjoy. Then always you're looking back, is somebody coming to attack me? Many people who have become rich through the wrong ways, wrong means, through corruption and other things, they have never slept peacefully, and they spend most of the money in hospitals later, because they earned the money in the wrong way, because they got addicted by torturing, by making other people unhappy. They took the money. Those money will not come for helping. There is this positive money, the good money, which comes authentically, where you are not attached to it, but it's with you because of your nature. That's the right money.
Mhm.
You see. So money is not to be hated. Money to be grateful about, and your money sits in you, in your attitude. So your success also sits in you, as your attitude, how you look at life. You're already feeling abundant inside. Abundance has to come from outside, because that's what you're attracting. As I told earlier, your projection is exactly what is your reciprocation, or what you get. Reciprocation is based on your projection. What are you projecting? So if you are very constipated for love, then you will not get love from the society. Give it in abundance, share it in abundance, then you'll get much more. Yeah. Attitude is your right investment. Right attitude, right investment.
Totally. Thank you for that. I mean, that's very profound insight, actually. I think a lot of people might not realize this is that aspect that it's the mindset, the
Yes.
money, the word you used, the phrase you used of consciousness, poverty consciousness. If you feed that narrative over and over again, it becomes kind of your reality. So same way, if you feed that positive self-talk or positive mindset or the talk you do, you that becomes kind of your reality. So how do you
Nikhil, the same with how you present yourself. Have you seen in the world? I'm sure you're meeting a lot of people, and some people pretending to be humble, they put themselves down.
Mhm.
They present themselves as insignificant. Oh, I'm not worth it, kind of. But you know what's happening actually? Their subconscious is listening. They are actually feeding that particular unwantedness or unworthiness in them, and then they can't see. I believe that we should all be feeding good things inside to the subconscious, because what we think, what we express, subconscious is recording, like the black box of the aeroplane. All the communication gets recorded in the black box. So like that, our subconscious is recording all these things. And many times I've seen, to pretending to be humble, they are not humble. They have megalomania, sometimes superiority complex, but they pretend to be humble, and they keep telling, "Hey, you know what, this," but that gets stored in the system. And you know how it gets reflected? As untrustworthiness. People look at them, oh, you can't trust them. They are not knowing that they are projecting that, but because of this overtly humble humility kind of thing, this happens. So we need to be very, very authentic. We need to project, like, if people may appreciate, if you're angry and you project anger due to whatever reasons, people may appreciate more than that hidden uh, pretensive humility, where you are actually exploding inside, but you're showing something very nice. And then when they later on realize that that's not you, that's not the real you, then they discard you. That's how we become. Sometimes, many times, you can see celebrities depositioned in the society because of this two faces. I think we should keep one face, and we should be, if somebody praises us, be humble, thank you. Not that, oh, I'm not worthy of praising. Accept everything. Accept everything. I do that. I don't ask anybody to praise me or worship me or revere me, anything. But if anybody does anything, I always gracefully I say thank you, so that they are not offended, and I accept. See, they are projecting their perception about you to you, right? They
Mhm.
are projecting what they think you are to you. Take it, and don't deny all that. But you don't have to live that. You live yourself. You live what you are. You live your authentic nature. But don't deny other people, and or don't project something which you are not to other people. These two things are detrimental to success.
Certainly. Thank you. No, thank you for that. Another reflection on success. So another question I have from a lot of leaders is, I know what to do. This is often I know exactly what to do. I know I have to get physically fit, mentally fit. I want to take care of my relationship. I know I have to work on my projects and life goals. I want to enjoy life. They all know what to do, but they often say like, why don't I do it? So they're like stuck. Like they know what to do, but they don't take that step. Do you have any like thoughts from your own experience with working with leaders in your
Well,
community and the world?
I think the answer is in the question itself. Why not? The main thing is this I factor. The thing is, I am doing it. We are not doing the life of another person. Let's be honest. We are not even doing our life. Doing, We can be life. That is okay. But doing our life, no. Who's beating your heart, your thought process, your circulation, respiration, digestion? We have no control of any of these things. So how about other people? So the whole idea about I doing it is the main culprit here. I'm not doing anything. It's happening through me, and the time is same for everybody. Nikhil has 24 hours and I have 24 hours. I don't have any extra time each day. So how we spend our time is depending on our priority. You can't make it 48 hours even if you try your best. Now we have a time of birth and time of death. We can do nothing about it. It's happened already. Now, while living, why I don't have time? Why should not I have time? We have time. But we should set our priorities in order. We should pre-plan. Okay, tomorrow is another day, and that day is taken away from my 30,000 days or 28,000 days, whatever days we are going to live. We don't know how much we will live. But let's assume we live 80 years, so we have so much time. 29,200 days. So one day is taken away from that. So one day is lost. So what do I want to do in that day? Like that, and that also only during effective time. Effective time means you don't have any dependency. Effective days. Effective days is very important. That's the only time where you are not dependent on anybody. Childhood, we were dependent on our parents, and the last stages we might be dependent on somebody. So the effective time is the only time when we don't have any reason to depend on somebody. We can handle our stuff. That time you should be used well, should be used very well. Prioritize it. Okay, you want to spend time with your family, do it. You want to experience success in business, do it. And if you want to balance the whole thing, that's up to you. Nobody can prescribe it for you. You see. So we have to be very realistic in life. I have to do this, I have to do this, taking up ownership of things will always perish you, diminish you, because you are taking a lot of burden and you have no control on anything. So, even our children, for example, how they grow up, what they will become, do we have any control? And this thing called marriage, marriage, family, they are all different karmic beings coming together. Even if you take 4 people in a house, father, mother, children, 4 karmic beings, individual universes living together. They see life as themselves, not as you. So if I say, Nikhil, you should see the life as I see, it's stupidity from my side. Because you can't see that. Because you are a complete and full karmic being. You have a duration of existence. And you will see life as you are, not as I am. So we have to understand this very clearly. We don't own anybody. We don't control anybody. We cannot control anybody, not even our life, where we are born and we will die, and life is happening. Every day new things are happening. Destiny brings you situations. We are enjoying the situations. When we accept the situation, there is no conflict. When we resist a situation, we have conflict in life. So everything about life is like that. And what destiny brings you is what you have prescribed for without knowing it. Our desires, our anxieties, our fears, our phobias, our constitution, what we are, that mixes up and becomes destiny. And that comes to you. So your fears may come as a reality. Your love may come as a reality. It's all up to this. We don't have control. Basically, we have no control on life. So this whole idea about control should be completely trashed. And we should not look at anybody through the eyes of ownership. Nobody belongs to anybody. All are individual karmic beings. But then for society's sake, they have come together as husband, wife, children, or a neighbor or whatever. That's only for the social level. But that's not connected to individual karma 100%. Maybe 2 people came together as a family because they have common karma, but they are not same. They are not the same. They are completely different individuals. Their outlook to life is different. Their experience is different. Tastes are different. All things different. but they live together, some commonality. So respect it. Our only possibility is that we cannot do anything more. So this whole idea about I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, so much of heaviness. I'm handling things in 6 continents. We have activity, but I don't keep the stress on my head. With clarity, you will not have no stress.
Mhm.
I hope
Thank
it
you.
makes.
That's a no, absolutely. I think I understand. I understand. I think, and for people who are listening, also, I think that getting the picture is the idea is the I. Take out the I. Like
Yep.
get get that perspective. Remove the I from your tasks, and you will see it in a different light. So, and one of the things which often comes up is, I think you mentioned managing teams. You said your organization has grown wonderfully, and it's amazing work you do. And I'm often fascinated and like sometimes mesmerized, and in the way you and your teams touch so many lives. I mean, like I can't even like I'm so honored to have the opportunity to speak with you, and I know it's a very privileged opportunity, so I have to stay true to this relationship. So my question is like, how do you manage teams? And it's specific to leadership context. People who manage teams and people, what are the what are the skills they should be working on?
I don't manage. Main thing is that there's no management. Of course, as you know that there are so many activities and so many countries, so many different places, things are going on, and we have a global council which runs the show. The whole global show is run by a 9-member global council. I never interfere in the decision. They have clarity about where they want to go. See, that is very important for any manager or any high manager should impart absolute clarity to the leaders of the community or the of your team. So if you don't impart absolute clarity, I'm not talking in terms of my organization. Generally, I'm saying if you impart absolute clarity to the team don't underestimate the team. They have the power to see, they have the power to visualize, they have the power to chart out the roadmap they have. And normally, I never interfere in anybody's decisions. Even I tell them, see, failure is not a problem for me. Sometimes we attempt with pure heart and it did not work well. That's fine. But when you don't attempt, an opportunity is missed. That's not fine. For me, not attempting is not a solution for me. Attempt and fail. See how many times we fall down before you will learn to walk. So we do fall down many times. But if you don't attempt to walk, you will never walk in life. So I believe that we should allow people to be themselves, full freedom, and the variety that they bring into the company will make the company alive, thrive, become completely more vibrant. So we need to instead of putting people in cubicles or brackets and tell them this is what you do, only this is what you do, we should explore them further. Okay, this is approximately the where we want to go. Now you go. And I don't overrule people, any of the managers. If they ask me a question, I answer. Otherwise, I don't interfere, and I don't check what they're doing. Means I give them full trust. I trust people. I give them full task. I never interfere. I always maintain their individuality and I keep respect. Respect is very vital. Even if it is a 10-year-old child or a 100-year-old person, you should respect them alike. Absolutely. So respect is very important. So I don't overrule people, and I never position myself as superior to anybody. And if you noticed, we call it Mohanji family. You know, everybody have equal rights. Everybody has equal, and also all the centers that we have in 12 countries, etc., accessible to everybody. I'm not special there. Neither are my personal family special in that context. Everybody are equal, so that they all feel connected. They all feel part of it. This is how we should, even in corporates, when I used to run it, I used to tell people, uh, only 15 minutes I used to meet the managers every morning, not more than 15 minutes. Sometimes it spills over to 30. That's the ultimate. And I tell them, are you clear about what you want to do in this? And today, what you have to accomplish? Now, then I tell them, these are the things which we should complete. And that's very, very short, like in one sentence, two sentences, we can say. And then I tell them, in case if you find that you cannot, if you found that you can't do it, if you find it's impossible for you to complete, um, you should try your best. You should be very sure that you can't complete it. Then bring it to me. I'll complete it. What happens is usually it's imagine a particular situation where they have gone to in their level to the authorities and they could not complete it. I could go further to the higher authority and complete it. Is sometimes, not all the time. So many times in a critical situation, one phone call from me to a higher authority, like a director general of some office or something like that, immediately solves the issue. So I only step in where it's extremely necessary, fully knowing that that other person can't complete it. So I'm not overruling them. They say that we have done our best and this is what it is. So I tell them, you leave it on my table, don't look back. I'll do it. And then I make one call to the somebody higher as the head of the organization, head of the country. I have access to people which the subordinates may not have access. I make one phone call and I complete it and said, okay, it's done. Now you can move the paper. So like this, I used to assist. So there was no conflict and these people had full confidence. Mohanji is with us. He's behind us, you know. So there is no fear factor. There's no anger factor, you know, or no ridiculing, no putting people down. That's all not necessary in any office. Instead, what you should do is that encourage, okay, do it. You know, small failures are all fine, no problem. Oh, you tried it, you didn't get it, no problem. Next one. So that by the time they perfect it, they will be very integrated to the company. Now, coming to my organization, we don't have anything commercial about it. So what we do is that we are more service. It's more karma yoga, selfless service. So main thing that we need is a kind approach, kindness. It has to start with me. I have to be kind or considerate to my people, and that goes on well. Means if I don't take care of them, they can't take care of other people. So everybody becomes potential Mohanji to the world in our organization, and nobody is higher or lower. And when they all become potential Mohanji, the world, a lot of people are connecting to us in the world today. They are all feeling some kind of completion, even if they speak to somebody, not me. So this is how the whole organization is run. Just because I give them freedom, I don't breathe on their neck. I allow them individuality, creativity, you know, and all those things. And the discipline is there because everybody talks to everybody. Everybody is there for everybody, and some level the steam is let off because of this communion or communication.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I think this again very relevant. You are saying these insights. I know we are running out of time. I think we have kind of 1 minute. I think, isn't it? So I mean, for me, I have like one question, last question about how do you manage your own, because you're a busy person, you're going from continent to continent, places to places. How do you manage your own personal well-being while all of this is going on? Is there any strategies? I'm particularly asking for, again, who are leaders or people in business who are constantly constantly traveling or constantly working. What are some practical tools?
Um, well, my schedules are pretty crazy still. I cannot boast that I'm doing a great job in managing my time. That's mainly because of the activities which are happening in the world, and some places where I have to be present. Also, the other activities, the outside the foundation activity, quite a lot of activities are happening now. These things sometimes we can't regulate or control as we like. But one thing I can tell you, um, I normally sleep early, uh, by 9:30, 10. I try to. Sometimes when I'm traveling, it's not possible because sometimes the flight is in the night. I try to sleep early, and when again it depends on time zone, etc. And I get up early. This is what I try. Sometimes it doesn't work. Generally, I'm saying if I'm in one place for some time, this is how I do. I sleep early, get up early. Then I have a particular diet which I'm following, which is of course vegan, but it's also regulated for rejuvenation. Means it's there are some organizations and doctors who are trained for they prescribe the right diet. I only I follow that as much as possible when I'm in one place. When I'm traveling again, it's not possible. So those kind of things. And then uh, the activity wise, I still don't have much control. I have probably daily many activities that I don't, but I look at it this way. I try to complete things rapidly so that that's done. Then the next one. So I don't keep things pending. So that reduces the pressure a little bit. But the one thing which you can, at this point in time, what is growing up is this biohack kind of treatment where they look at your blood system, how is your blood, and then they prescribe you things where you can remove some of the medicines and prevent some of the situations, your heart and your lungs and your kidneys and your liver, etc. So those kind of things are pretty good, especially when you grow older. Uh, but otherwise, a vegan diet, harmless diet, and you eat what you like. And I don't eat after 6 o'clock. I don't eat anything after 6 p.m. Then I eat only the next day after 6 a.m. or let's say it's 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. Normally 8 a.m. is my breakfast. So there is a bit of fasting every day, which purifies you. Then drinking a lot of water. Water I drink a lot. Usually after every sleep and every bath, of course. And then whenever you feel a bit thirsty, I drink water. So that water, maybe you have to go to toilet a few more times, but it's still better that it's always refreshed. And the brain is also happy if there is more water content. So like that. This I can explain more later sometime about the treatment or the method I am living. And I can also connect you to some doctors if you like. But basically, this is what it is. I try to live a life with a bit of balance as much as possible. But please remember, I'm not in one place I not slept in one bed for more than 10 days since months, since years. So that much of movement has happened. Now again, I'm going to start moving in January 2nd. So that is how it is. But overall, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
And homeopathic medicine
Thank
for
you.
it. I'm taking homeopathic medicine as a standard, avoiding chemical medicines as much as possible.
Thank you for sharing that. Really insightful. And before we go, last message. What do you have to say for everyone who is going to start this New Year's resolution for this year? So, any message for people who want to start something?
I would say that you should follow your heart. One. Second, maintain extreme flexibility because things can change rapidly in this year, coming year, and the years to come. Things can change rapidly. Third, religion is not higher than human beings. Human beings should choose religion and don't look through the eyes of religion to anybody. We are human beings. We should look at the world through the eyes as human beings. And religion and all these things are personal. It should not be imposed on anybody. And nobody should be pushed to choose religious practices. So we should push back such things. It should not affect us. We should look at life as a simple child. Everything and experience everything that life gives you. And be flexible, keep moving, and love more than you choose to hate. Hatred is a sickness. Hatred affects you. Love enhances you. And revenge and those kind of things kills you more or destroys or disturbs your conscience more than the other person. than the receiver. So don't go into those lines. Revenge, hatred, those things are basically harmful to you more than the others. So love is good. Love and kindness, compassion, selflessness, righteousness, they all enhances you. Practice those things consciously. And again, as I said, you can choose any religious path or any guide or any guru or any practice as you like, which suits you. But please remember, end of the day, it's you. So don't leave yourself. Don't chase something outside thinking that you will feel better. You can use them, but it's you. If you do not connect with yourself, you lose yourself. That you remember. Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, thank you. Let's end it at that. So this has been a real true privilege to share the space with you. Thank you, Mohanji,
Thank
for
you. Thank you, Nikhil.
taking the time out and working with me on this. It's been a dream come true for me. So thank you. And
I wish you great success. Yeah, I wish you great success. I wish your effort reaches many parts of the world, many more people. I wish you great success.
thank you. So let's
Thank you.
end the conversation here. Appreciate it. I have just stopped the recording now.
Yes, thank you.